Hello and welcome to Channel Sport on Sunday. I am Ken Ochonagon. Sometimes you just close your eyes and you say, this is Nigerian sport. This is Nigerian sport because every day something new happens. For the past few weeks, we've been talking about the basketball issue. Nigeria pulling out of international basketball. But then we are back. We are back at a cost. Because as we speak, it looks like we have finally forfeited that chance for our girls to go to the World Cup. Haven't qualified for it. Because what we are saying, FIBA is saying, Mali is going there to represent what or the position we qualified for. But that is it. We should look at that and see if there are any windows that we can at least look at and use the opportunity to say, okay, fine, we are back. Can we now take what we qualified for and represent and let the girls go over there and fly the Nigerian flag? Football. In 2021, some concerned Nigerians, the ex-players, wrote to the NFF. Of course, when we say NFF, we'll be saying it here because legally what we have is the NFA. So we have the NFF or the NFA alias the NFF. One goes to FIFA as NFF. The other goes to the National Assembly to defend their budget as NFA. We all know this, but we pretend. We all pretend as if it is normal. It is only in Nigeria that this happens, and it has been on not just for a year or two or three or four or five. It's been so. The National Assemblies are aware, everybody is aware, and we say NFF, and we collect money as NFA because the law, the president has not signed that bill. Has it been, if it has been passed? Yes. Has the president signed it? He has having his reservations. That is that. But then, the minister also, during the week, after saying that, yes, the NBBF has apologized. And based on that, we are going back to the international basketball. The other letter was says, NFF, by the order of the president, go and organize an election for September. But before that, certain issues has to be dealt with. There is that small matter of a case in the court of Bayelsa High Court. Go and get that vacated. And then, normally, I thought probably they ought to have about 6 months. 6 months before the elections. We are in June. This is almost the end of June. July, August, September is 3 months away. And that letter also instructed the NFF to say, fine, after vacating this, you have to amend your status to include every party equitably. Now, can this be done within 3 months? We are going to find out. Wimbledon kicks off tomorrow. Without the Russian and Belarusian players, there will be no world number one. And it is happening for the second major in a row. Because in Australia, Djokovic was barred from playing because he did not take the vaccine. So, right now, because the Russian invasion of Ukraine, Medvedev, the new number one, will not be at Wimbledon. SW19 will miss the best player currently in the world. Sports and politics. Nigerian basketball and politics. Nigerian football and politics. International tennis and politics. And they tell us sports and politics don't mix. What do we see here? In Benin, they are burning the tracks, the cream de la cream of Nigerian athletes. Yes, they are running and jumping and say, we want to go to the Commonwealth Games. We want to go to the World Championships. And it is happening right there in Benin. We will try and get to Benin and see how the emerging faces, those who are winning the 100 meters, 200 meters, the 100 meters male and female for the very first time, new faces are emerging. The new talks are taking over from the old guards. So how refreshing, how prepared will Nigeria be when we go there to the USA, or also the Commonwealth Games, and then how do I burn the tracks? Yes, with the best of the world. In Port Harcourt, actually, there should be dancing in the streets, because Rivers United, for the very first time, are the Premier League champions. Stand up for the pride of Rivers. Rivers United, because we used to have Sharks and Ocean Boys. And then the governor said, or the government, not the governor, the government said, come together. We can't be running two teams. Get the best that you have. Get the best of the players. Get the best of the management. Get the best of the structures. Put them together. But then it has always been almost a bridge too far. The nearly team. But this year, they started like a house on fire and finished, yes, brazenly hot, pressing the tape with 4 games to go. Because they still have 4 games and they've won it. Plateau United they have 3, and then 10 points is unbridgeable. There is no way you are going to bridge that. So we'll be celebrating with Rivers United as they win their first ever Premier League title. That is the MPFL 2022. In as much as we are celebrating Rivers, the other news coming out is not palatable. It is not at all. Violence in the last 48 hours. From Kanu to Eli to Uyo, there has been violence, violence, violence. How do we tackle this? The LMC has come out again with their letters of we ban you, we fine you. But we ask this question, as we always ask, why take the same action if the result is always the same? Someone needs to think out of the box. Someone needs to look at what's needed to be done so that we can stem the tide of this violence that has overtaken our football. A female referee was beaten to coma. She was rushed to the hospital, and that was where she regained her consciousness. We pray she lives. In New York, players and officials were battered. We don't even have the heart to show you the pictures here because it is too gory. Because they played football in their own country. So what was their cry? And in Kanu, of all places, Kanu Pillars, an institution, the chairman of the club went to assault an assistant referee. How do you market this league when the negatives outweighs the positives? How do you? Why you try to celebrate Rivers United? Kanu Pillars, coming from a ban, went back there, even when we're supposed to be playing behind closed doors, says we are above the law. This is who we are. It is not DNA. We must attack, attack, and attack. Quite unfortunate. But that is Nigerian sports for you. In the transfer market, Taiwo Awoniyi, yes, he left Union Berlin, and he's telling Liverpool, and back to England. I'm back to Nottingham Forest. There's something unique about Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest has won the English League just once. But then they won the Champions League, then the Champions Cup, back to back. So they have more Champions League trophies than league trophies. And that is where Awoniyi is going to ply his trade come August when the league opens. So we'll see where we want to start from today, whether whether I want to go to Benin or whether I want to go to Yenagoa and see how we can tackle these issues. But while we are trying to see that, let us see some of those visuals of our athletes burning the track right there at Benin. We saw, Favour Ashe saying, I am the fastest Nigerian, who saw Nwokocha, holding back and saying, no, Rosemary Chukuma, stay there. It is not yet a time. Let's see if we can get those, at least a lot is happening right there in Benin, and that is what we'll try and see if we can connect. But before we do that, let us see some of the actions that have taken place in the last, today is the final day of those events. All right, you will come back from that. You've seen what is happening in Benin. But it is good we go live to get it direct from where it is happening as it is happening now. Let's go straight to Benin, where we have the chairman of the Edo State Sports Commission, Yusuf Ali. This man, how do you describe him? A record holder. He has led the delegation for Nigerian sports on so many events, Olympics, the World Cup, everywhere you want to go to. We call him the skipper. Let's go and meet the skipper right there in a minute. Hello, Yusuf. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning or good afternoon. How are you doing?
Yusuf, we are fine. And how are you doing? How is Benin?
Benin right now is bubbling. We're having a good time.
And I know wherever it bubbles, that is where they find you. When it comes to athletics, technically, gentlemen, there is none better than this man that we have in this country. Hello, Yusuf. Tell us what is happening in Benin.
To be honest, I think it's like we are going back to the golden era, where we used to dominate track and field in Africa. and also some parts of the world. If you look at the result of yesterday, this is the very first time we're only under 10 seconds in Nigeria in a trial. I think it is fantastic. Literally means that we are coming back to where we used to be, and hopefully we'll do better. Today will be the climax, and I know that our relay team ran a 38, but we can do a 37 from all indications from the 100 meters final. Toby Amuson, she's running fantastic. And the amazing part yesterday was the local girl in the high jump beating the girl that came from the US. She jumped 1.88, missed 1.91 by weeks. I think these are the type of result that we want as a country, meaning that we're actually improving. And these are youths that in the last 2 years they were in youth competition or junior competition, and now they are now in the national team. I think it's a good sign that Nigeria is coming back again.
Okay, these trials is supposed to be a double header. For which competitions?
It's for the World Championship in Junior Oregon and the Birmingham Commonwealth Games. I think that's where we are trying to focus more on, because Nigeria didn't do too well in the last Olympic Games, and we felt and we think that if you put our hearts together and group properly, and also pick at the right time, I think Nigeria will surpass what we'll be doing in the Commonwealth. And I think we are going to get it right. And Nigerian as a country, people will be proud. For the team, the minister has done a wonderful job to have cleverly picked the sports that will do well at the games. The issue of jamboree should not arise because of the issue of money. But I'm pretty sure that we'll do well at the Commonwealth Games. But World Championship is a big event. We've not won a single gold medal in World Championship. We've won gold medal in Olympic Games. I think it might be the first time that that will happen. But for sure, our main focus is the Commonwealth Games. And I'm very sure that we'll do very well. We'll be going into close camp from the 9th of July. That gives us a very good time before the Commonwealth Games. We'll be in open camps and all over Nigeria and some part of the US. I think for once we are ready as a country. We did not do the fire brigade approach, whereby the dying minute we start to prepare, but we've been preparing for the past 8-9 months for this Commonwealth Games. Okay,
Skipper, let me ask you this. You said we are not going for a jamboree. How many events are we competing? Are we going there to compete for in both the Commonwealth Games and also the World Championship?
We are going with 9 sports. We are going with 9 sports. We're going with athletics, athletics. We're going with boxing. We're going with judo. We're going to weightlifting, powerlifting. We're going with wrestling, and we're going with boxing. That's the 9 sports that we'll be taking part in. And even like for athletics now, we have 46 gold medals at stake at Commonwealth Games. We are not going with all the events because if you understand the game very well, outside the 400 meters for men and women, we don't have any chance in 800 and above. Because if you look at the closest rival to Commonwealth countries, if I take 800 meters for example, 800 meters men, Nigeria will be ranked like 200 and something to any Commonwealth federation. So there's no point of taking such athletes. If you cannot make the podium, if you can't make the final, you can never make the podium. I think that's my stake in that. I don't believe in just taking athletes for exposure. I mean, when it comes to Commonwealth Games, you can use the festival for exposure. You can use the youth game, but not Commonwealth Games or Olympic Games. I think the serious athletes, serious-minded, the elite should be going to these games. That is my stake on that.
Okay, let's come back to Benin. How is the track? I mean, I hope they are not complaining that it is bumpy. How are the facilities you have right there at Ogbe Stadium?
Well, we all know that Benin Stadium, Ogbe Stadium, is the best stadium we have in this country now when it comes to track and field. In terms of facility, Abuja Stadium is not bad, but the track right now is bad. But Ogbe Stadium, the track is like a year old. It's fantastic. There's no single bump on it. We have the curves. It is IAAF certified track. So artists are very, very happy. That is why you see a Nigerian actually run 9.99 in Nigerian soil. This is the first time we are having that. That will testify that this track is fantastic. It is fast. And I bet you today you will see more results. And I mean, look at the field event, the way it is set up. In the shot put, you throw the shot put, you don't have to go and pick it up. We have a return tray that will return your shot for you. These are the measures that is in Benin. And I mean, look at the armor. We have a fantastic armor cage, and people have been talking about it. And these are all homemade. The return tray for shot put is all made in this country. The hammer cage is made in this country. I think this is what we are trying to tell people, that we can do it also in this country. Even the landing foam is also made in Nigeria. So these are the issues that we're talking about, and people are very, very happy about them.
Okay, one of the athletes that didn't make this, I've not been hearing about Favor Ofili. Is she in Benin?
No, Favor Ofili, she's not in Benin, because we had a talk. And if we must do well at Commonwealth Games, we must give some concessions, some excuses. Favor Ofili, I did the stats on her. In the last 1 year, she has run over 70 races. And I think coming to this trial will be 6 races too many. If she must win a medal at Commonwealth Games, she don't need to come to this trial. She needs to rest. Even World Championship, I told them, the federation, she doesn't need to run the 100 meters. Let her just run the 200 and probably the relay. So she'll be ready for us for the Commonwealth Games, because she's right there in the top for the Commonwealth Games. So we must try to protect her so we can win that medal at the Commonwealth Games.
Okay, apart from Favor Ofili, are there other athletes who have been doing well in the international circuit? Say there are times I've qualified them that they don't need to come for these trials?
Well, to me, none, because the issue is that if you give athletes any room that they don't have to take part in your trial, then you now make a mockery of the trial. People will not come. Okay. They will tell you I've qualified, but the qualifying standard is coming to the national trial. Even US, as big as Carl Lewis was, or Usain Bolt, they go to the national trial. I remember 1989, Melin Ote was the fastest lady on earth. She didn't go to Jamaican trial. She was not at the World Cup. I think we too must follow suit. But sometimes if there's a very good, genuine excuse, like an injury to your top athlete, and you know they're coming to the track meet, you will now aggravate that injury more, you can excuse them. I think such cases happens. That's why America introduced what they call a white card, whereby a champion may not be able to come to national trial and you give them a white card. But it's the concessions thing that all of you talk about. It's not that they deliberate thing that I will not come to the trial. But with all that, I think Ofili, she's the only one that's absent from the trial. Every other person are in Benin.
Okay, Yusuf, we want to go on a very short break. When we come back, I will ask you 1 or 2 personal questions and we'll wrap this up. Okay, you're welcome back. We've been having Yusuf Ali right there from Benin, from Ogbe Stadium, a famous stadium. I remember some matches I watched there. Some Rangers, Bender Insurance taking on Rangers. I don't know what's happening to Bender Insurance. I won't ask Yusuf. No, I won't ask him about Bender Insurance. Yusuf.
Why not? Why not?
Skippo. Okay, let me ask you this: the field events. How many of I'm trying to get it right. Who are you grooming to replace Yusuf to do the things that Yusuf did?
Well, that is a very, very tough question. I thought of it yesterday, and I was talking to somebody, and I said that if you look at the top 5 in Nigeria in long jump, they are all from Edo State. And I say, what will I have to do to bring that back to Edo State? That means it's literally I have to go to start coaching, because if you look at Nigerian record in long jump, it is Bendel, and Bendel is Edo State. I think in a short while, you'll start seeing jumpers coming out of Edo State. For sure. We have things in place. The government of Edo State don't play with the youth when it comes to sports. We have taken sports into the school. Now, sports will now be a curriculum in our schools in Edo State. We've done that. We want other states to copy, to follow that model. That is the only way for us as a country to improve in sports. Because in our days, we started sports from the grassroots, which is the secondary school. And that's what will be obtainable now in Edo State. That will now start showing athlete out. Regardless, it could be boxer, it could be weightlifter, it could be judoka. That is what we're going to do. We are taking sports to the grassroots. When they are still young and they get used to that, to it, then boom, will be the story at the end of the day. But watch out.
Yes, actually, you are taking it out of my mouth, because that is exactly where I'm going. The responsibility has been thrust upon your shoulders to say, you as the chairman of the Edo State Sports Commission, go and do this. So what? Let me look at it. What are the terms of reference? What is the Edo State Sports Commission supposed to do to revive sport? What do you need to do that? What is available now, and where do you need to go to? I mean, you said, look, we will. Let us see. What have you started doing based on the plan that you have? Do you have a short term, a medium term, a long term plan to say, look, it is not Bende, it is Bede. You understand? As Bede, we know what we do. So what to replicate that, if you go through the streets of Benin in the 80s and 90s, you will even see basketball courts everywhere, people jumping and throwing it. Boxing, the Osais of this world, the Okorodudus of this world came from that place. So you cannot take it. Is it football? Is it the Ginobas? No. So, Yusuf, right now, you are the man. How heavy do you think this responsibility is, and do you think it is achievable? That is for the target you want to set for yourself.
Well, first and foremost, I think I got a blanket approval from the governor of Edo State, alongside with deputy governor. I'm not a chairman. I'm an executive chairman.
Executive chairman, okay. Yeah.
That means that my role is limited. I can draw from anywhere. First and foremost, the governor also said that we are going to bring out 10,000 youth in 5 years. That means 2,000 per year. We've started doing that. If you come right to Benin and go to Waya Road, you see 2 basketball courts. We have our boxing ring all over now. Go to the ring road. Go to Mutalaman Ramad Park. We have our basketball setup. You are very correct. In those days, it was Bendel, and we are going back to it. So when you are giving that point, as that role as executive chairman, what you need to do is to look inward. Who and who will work with you? And I have people behind me that are very tough, they are strong, and I can bet you that in the next couple of months, you will start seeing results. You talk about the short-term plan. Yes, we have a short-term plan. We have going to revive the Ogbehat Court. Ogbehat Court was known all over the world, but this year we are going to have it. We got all the social institution games will be here. School sports are coming back, and Ogbe Youth Institutional Meet is coming back. These are things that used to dovetail in the past. The Principal Cup, these are things that we are bringing back on. But on a long term, it's going to take a while for it to actually materialize, because from that secondary school, but by the age of 16 to 21, there is a missing link in Nigerian sports. And we have cleverly identified that, where athletes will go to either tertiary institution or learn a trade. And we have Edo Jobs that is trying to collaborate with us. So it's that, you don't have to be a student for you to take part in sports. If you cannot go to school, we have a job for you. You can be a good organizer and same time be a strong athlete. I can mention names of Nigerian bowlers that didn't go to school, and we are fantastic. So the same model we are going to take. We are not trying to reinvent any wheel. We're just cut and paste, take the good one, use it, and in the long run, we'll do well. Because the governor, the deputy governor, they are so passionate about sports in this state. That's why I'm so happy. When this job came, I jumped to it because I have the deputy governor and the governor that want to actually run sports. For you to actually run sports, you must have a sports commission, and they've done that. So that's why this job to me, I would say, is very easy, because you have those two fronts, those two men in your front to direct you and to give you approval of what you want to do. So I'm very, very happy that you know what Bendel was at that time, and we are going back to that, and we'll make sure that everybody will now say, oh, Bendel or Edo is back. That is part of the long term. The short term also for us now is the National Sports Festival in Delta State. They are hosting. We hosted the last one. They came here. They did a fantastic job. They beat us, we were second. But we are not saying that we are going to Delta Asaba to win the National Sports Festival. Time is very short, but I know as I do, and I'm here, we are going to do that. We are going to shock them, we are going to surprise them. But some people believe us that we will do it, but I know I don't take second place.
Skippo, you don't take second place. But there's not worry, no, they carry last. So we're worrying about
this. They will not. One thing about the festival that I know for sure,
yes,
right, that they will see our back because we'll be in the front. So they will not carry last.
I want to see that rivalry. Remember in Kaduna 77, you understand? Bender was maybe 70 or 80 gold medal, while Lagos was 20 medals. Second, that was 1977. So that was Kaduna 77, and then we've been following it that way. It has been Edo, Delta, but Rivers is a strong force these days coming up, and you guys need to go to the grassroots. We are going to have a show with you, and you know, at least we spoke some time to it, but you were somewhere. So let us see how we can get that done, so we can look at how you are going back to the grassroots to revive sports in Edo State. Thank you, Skippo. Thank you for being part of this show.
Thank you very much, my brother. I'm here for you always. And like you said, you'll be part of the trade that will move Edo State sports forward. We need your help and assistance. Thank you very much, Ken.
All right. Thank you, Skippo. Thank you, Skippo.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. You're welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ken, for having me.
You've been following the discussion.
Yeah, Skippo. Several times our captain at various multi-events like Olympics, Commonwealth, and the African record holder in the long jump for a very long time. Yes, he was talking about the grassroots, and when he came out, we used to have all those Zone A, Zone B, Zone C. So that was the grassroots. I grew up knowing, I would throw up the likes of Yusuf Ali. So, and Yusuf is back home at those days. So let's see what will happen.
Omowale. All right. We want to see if we can go to Bayelsa, and because that is something developing. That is some developing news, if that is ready. But before then, let us see if we can take this letter. This letter was written to the Nigerian Football Federation. And then that is from the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development. There is this letter that is President Buhari's immediate directives on football administration. We want to take this letter. Do you have a copy of the letter with you?
I should have season of letters.
Okay. I think that letter. Yeah. Probably you can take the letter and see if others can also join.
Okay, from the stable of the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports Development, President Buhari's immediate directives on football administration. Following the federal government's renewed commitment to the growth and development of football in Nigeria, I hereby convene to you, Mr. President, immediate directives that 1. The NFF leadership is to ensure that the September 2022 schedule for the NFF executive election is complied with in line with the expiration of the current boss tenure. 2. The necessary electoral process commences timely so as to give Nigerians interested in contributing their expertise to football development the opportunity to do so. 3. The inclusion of other concerned stakeholders, hitherto disenfranchised or denied equal representation in the NFF Congress and their representatives at the elective Congress are made eligible to vote and be voted for henceforth. 4. The NFF is to ensure that the amended new status reflect our national yearnings, aspirations, and peculiarities as a sovereign nation, whilst aligning with the principles and objectives of football as set by FIFA. 2. The NFF is by this letter enjoined to ensure immediate compliance with these presidential directives and provide timely updates to the ministry. 3. Please accept the assurances of my warm regards, Sunday Dare, Honorable Minister of Youth and Sport Development.
Okay. This is a directive president, and then via the Ministry of Youth and Sports, where they're saying directing the NFF to do this. Okay. Is this an intervention or an interference?
Ken, it's becoming the norm now, invoking the president's name in every letter. That from the basketball, now is football. And I wonder, would the INEC chairman come out and said the president has directed an presidential election needs to hold by February 2023? No, because there is a process. You don't need to tell people that, because when Pinnick came on board, he knew his tenure would end. So why now saying the president has directed? I don't think it's needless. The president is when the election is not holding, then you can hold them accountable, but nobody has said they won't hold that election. So invoking the president's name every now and then, I don't think it's a great service to the development of this game. We put people on board, and the president has delegated his power to the honorable minister, who also for no reason, because the federation itself is a private enterprise. From what no one can explain to date was taken over by the government. But again, he will pays the piper, the tail, because when the NFF has a separate head, different from the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sport Development in the Appropriation Act bill, which becomes the budget. So if the NFFs they've agreed to go and sit before the National Assembly to defend the budget, we can't call it interference. So
and they go there to defend not as NFF but as NFA.
Okay. This letter is written to NFF, not NFE. This letter was to NFF, not NFE.
You see? Okay, let us see. Soon we will see if we can join. We can go to Bayelsa, Yenegua, and then link up. But okay, this is we're trying to get to Bayelsa now. I think when we are ready in a few minutes now, we shall join. I think we're leaving Benin to go to Bayelsa. But then this issue. Before the president has to intervene, started sometime on the 26th of June, 2021. If we can take this letter of Project 2022 Task Force.
Yes, and of course, the project team, we have a whole lot of ex-international from Tajuddin Ajide, Comrade Austin Popo, Comrade Tajuddin Disu, Dr. Feli Solabi, Comrade Yaya Adams, Chief Rumsin Baribote, Comrade Dairu Sadi, Comrade Emeka Ezigo, he didn't sign,
okay, you can
and
take
Mr. Stanley Okoronko. Yeah. Now, to the President, Nigerian Football Federation, through the General Secretary, Nigerian Football Federation, our place in the Nigerian Football Federation, Project 2022 Task Force is an offshoot of Professional Footballers Association of Nigeria, PFAN, the biggest stakeholder in Nigerian football and member of the Nigerian Football Federation. We, as members of Professional Footballers Association of Nigeria, PFAN, have the local standing, by extension and implication, to seek for ways to correct flaws and impediment that has made football development stunted for too long. Nigerian footballers, past and present, have been put in the remotest part of football administration consciously by the prevailing structure and system in Nigeria, and this is as obvious as daylight. Project 2022 Task Force is not on a wide goose chase. We, the Task Force, have the mandate as members of PFAN to use every legal means in advocacy, statutory right, moral grounds, and legislature to convince all football stakeholders, internal and external, on the need for immediate action plan to right the obsolete, flawed structure running for over 7 decades and a half to date. Our demands: 1, amendment of the current NFF Statutes 2010 in A, composition of the NFF Congress; B, composition of the Executive Committee of the NFF; C, voting pattern; D, and any other relevant provisions of NFF Statutes 2010 in consonance with FIFA, CAF, NFF, and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. In the light of the above, a 90 days mandatory notice from today, 26th of June, 2021, is hereby given via the relevant provisions of Article 27, Sub 1 and 2 of the NFF Statutes 2010. Thank you. Signed, Harrison Jala and Edema Fuludu.
All right. Now, 26th of June, 2021. What is today's date?
26th of June, 2022.
2022.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think it was because after 90 days and these people did not respond, then I went to court.
Which is
and up to today, nothing has been done to, to vacate that until now, until the president intervened. Do you think that, okay, the president that funds these people, if they have listened to them? Well, let me ask you one thing. But what would have been the right, if somebody said, let us judge you, what do you do?
But again, a house divided cannot stand. We used to have PFAN as the sole body for footballers, but now it's no longer only PFAN. We have other bodies.
No, I think they came together as it. I was there in Surulere when Ajide and Co, when Tijani Babangida the board was inaugurated. I was present. I wasn't told that they have they're fighting. They collapsed themselves. The Addison Wanjala group. They stepped aside for a new body to come in.
Ken, I'm talking of the NFF-backed player union.
You are talking about NFF-backed player union, which is after this letter has been written. As at the time this letter was written, I don't think there was.
We had only PFAN. Good. As at when this letter came out.
If we are ready, I hope we'll be ready soon. So basically, what we are saying here is that there was a premise under which this and which the president. Acting, if you look at what the president said here, the inclusion of the concerned stakeholders. I mean,
the wish prize yesterday and the baby died today is as.
Okay, are we ready? Can we see if we can go to Yenegua? Are we ready to go to Yenegua? Okay, we are still trying to get those things done. Anyway, while waiting to connect to Yenegua, let us see. We've told you that Rivers United are the new champions of the NPFL, but then that is not just it. A lot of things has gone on in the past 48 hours. Plateau United played yesterday. Of course, they played Aqua United yesterday. They lost that game, and that was why Rivers United are crowned champions.
4 matches to spare.
4 matches. Okay. But let's look at briefly before we can get that link on. In Kano, there was violence after Kano and Dakada, and Dakada equalized, and the last minute, and then the Kano Pillars chairman went on to assault the assistant referee. The league management company has taken their stand on that. Yeah. They have fined him. I think they've expelled him, and let us see what will happen. But we are still talking on that when another story evolved. That the One Rocket FC played Go Round FC. And the pictures you are going to see, I advise you guys to, we selected the ones that we believe that you could, that we can show you here, because it is not everything you see. They were attacked. I want us to look at some of these pictures of the result of that attack by One Rocket fans and their team or whatever on Goran, a neighboring state. Look at Rivers, yeah. Look at Port Harcourt, look at you. Let us see if you can see what if we can have some of those pictures, because like I said, they are a bit those stills are not okay. You can see that these are the officials and players of Goran FC of Port Harcourt that were attacked yesterday. That is a player.
I think is unfortunate, and as you said, the guy that slapped the referee during the MFM match, yes. Has the guy been produced? Because we need to make a very clear statement.
You can see?
Yes, because if others are doing it and they are getting away with it, why it will embolden other guys to try this, and that is the result of what we are seeing. We need to make a scapegoat of one of these intruders. There should be no sacred cow.
If you're even talking about it, here again, if you're talking about the fans and then whatever, we are saying even in Kanu, the chairman of the club,
yes.
the chairman,
yes.
not the deputy, not
so
the player,
it's not only about expelling the guy. The chairman should be prosecuted. We have laws because the players we're talking about, the Constitution of Nigeria as 1999 as amended. Yes. So the chairman also should not. That's why I said there should be no sacred cow in this battle, and we should not take some people as the sacrificial lamb, while some people who so if the chairman should be made to go through the process of what he has done, so that he can also feel it, and that will serve as deterrent to anybody that is having something in his brain.
And while we are discussing that, also in the last 48 hours, right there in Ueli, Tete Football Club took on Ekiti United, and the center referee, Patience Weke, after the match was beaten to stupor, beaten to coma, and taken to the hospital. Tete. That is NNL. We're talking about MPFL, we're talking about NNL, we're talking about NLO. Violence, violence, violence everywhere. Where? So what has football in the past 7-8 years taken us to? Are we going forward or backward? If we are ready, can we go to Yenegua? Are we set? Hello?
Hello.
We have Victor Ramsey Baribote right there in Yenegua. Hello, Mr. Baribote. Are you clear with us?
Yes, Ken.
Okay. Let's take this as it is. We've been going through the letters that were written and also the directive from the president via the Minister of Youth and Sports Development, asking that the elections be held. But let's start from the very beginning. There is supposed to be a substantive court case in Yenegua, the High Court in Yenegua. I don't know, is it federal or state High Court in Yenegua? But there is a High Court in Yenegua, and there is a case there. Has that case been vacated?
Well, based on the presidential directive, and of course, well, let me first of all say good afternoon, viewers or listeners, and Ken. Thank you for having me. But you see, first, based on the presidential directive, of course, last year, September to be precise, the task force of the Players Union, PFAN, which is the known Players Union here, whichever one they are talking about is by the side, because the NFF is made up of 5 statutory bodies, and of which the Players Union have been an integral part right from day one. And you cannot even expel a statutory body. You can expel members. Heuristic, there is natural persons. You can expel them. So based on that letter, we wrote to the president and that of the minister, telling him of the lopsided of the statute, where there are 5 members as clearly stated in Article 10.1, the State Football Association, the League, the Players Association, coaches, and that of referees, which constitute the Congress, about 45 voting delegates. It will shock you to know, in fact, interest you to know that out of the 44, the state FAs are having 37. And of course, it's a known fact that the coaches, the referees, the players, they all have their constituted bodies with secretary and chairman in all the states, just like the FA. So we wrote to the NFF, wrote to the president and that of the minister that they should amend those troubled areas of the statute so that we can have equal and fair representation of all parties or all members as clearly stated in Article 10.1. So I think the president in his own wisdom, based on our complaint to him, have written and directed that elections should be conducted September, of course. Article 39 of the NFF statute clearly states that from the day the Congress elect the president, his tenure start counting from that day, and it's for a period of 4 years. He may be re-elected. So based on that, he said, look, go and take care of those areas. Then conduct an election by September when the tenure of this present board will come to an end. So it is our strength of this.
Hold it, Baribote. Hold it. I won't ask you a question, but we are going to break. When we come back, you answer that question. The time frame between now and September, is it enough to conduct and do the amendments and conduct an election? We're going to break, and when we come back, you provide answer to that. Okay, you're welcome back. Let's go straight back to Yenegua and meet Chief Barry Boterunson. He is the former MPL, Nigerian Players League. The MPFA was not there. He was the chairman of the league, and also he was the owner of, okay, do I call him the owner of Nembe City? We have club owners. Hello, Chief Barry Bote, am I right?
Of course, you're right.
Okay. Okay, before we went on break, I asked you a question. I mean, we are end of June now, and then we're saying by September 1st, is that period, right? I thought the AGA is supposed to meet and then, come out with the guidelines to the elections, which is supposed to take about 6 months or so. I don't know if the time is sacrosanct. I mean, that period is it, or if it is flexible. So, but you can explain to us. You are a lawyer and also a member. You've been a member of the AGA.
Ken, can you hear me?
Yes, you are very clear, very clear.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, already there was a notice of AGA issued in December, yes, which the court, the Federal High Court order, now directed and restrained them from holding that AGA because there are some areas that really have to be cleared. Somebody who is aggrieved, say OPNA, a board member of Nembe City, went and obtained an order from court. And now FIFA is what you give. FIFA is like computer, garbage in, garbage out. It's what you give, feed computer gives to you. FIFA don't come here in Nigeria to decide what you do with your Nigeria Football Federation. It is what you look. The electoral code, as adopted by NFF in Article 12, I think thereabout, said the electoral committee and the appeals committee must be drawn up on the floor of the Congress, and they must be members of the association. In this case, because of the situation we find ourselves, notice have been given for AGA, so we don't need another notice to call AGA. Amendment we are talking about can be done within 2-3 weeks. It's for the AGA to set up other committee to go and look at the trouble areas. We will not agree, then come back to the Congress. Congress will rectify, and we use it for the election. So nobody will say the time is not there for us to do that. And if you look at the time frame within 6 months, yes, like I said, it's what you give to FIFA. It's our internal matter. And let me take you back to 2014, when Giwa election took place on the 26th of August, and when some people feel aggrieved, rather than going to the appeals committee to set it aside in line with the FIFA electoral code as adopted by NFF in Article 12, they decide to now set up a new electoral committee within 10 days, and the election was conducted within 20 days. Heaven did not fall. That is what put Amaju in office as president till today, meaning that the NFF here can abridge the time of election. So that is not an issue at all. Moreover, the date, the notice for the Congress have been given. Now that the plaintiff have unequivocally forfeit and forgo is the order granted, because it was the one that went to court and order was granted. So he is the beneficiary of that order. He have now agreed with the Congress member, which is the number 2 defendant in that suit, said, look, we have resolved this issue based on that. I'm forfeiting my rights. I'm forfeiting that order. That has been taken care of. So if the NFF is ready, Congress can be called tomorrow because notice have been given long before now to fulfill that aspect of 30 days notice. So I don't think the NFF don't have issue of calling a Congress because the clock that is holding them back have been removed. The man who went to court have waived his right for the interest of the nation and that of the youth, so that they don't be, the players' union or whoever is behind it will not be an impediment to football development. We want advancement of football. So that the plaintiff have done. So from tomorrow, if the NFF is ready, they can call a Congress because notice have been given the time frame within which to conduct the election can be abridged by the NFF. What you need to do is to communicate that to FIFA that based on XYZ reason, we have decided to hold our election. And NFF, FIFA will just okay it because it's our internal matter. It's clearly stated. They don't dictate to us.
Okay, that means there is no need for the judge in Yenagoa to make a pronouncement that this case has been vacated. That the moment it was filed and both parties say we are withdrawing the case, it becomes automatic. Hello, Chief Baribote.
Well,
hello.
We are saying that we have not discontinued the substantive matter. What was an impediment to the holding of that Congress was that order. That the man who have the right to go back to court, that there is disobedience of this court, to press for contempt charges, is the one saying that I forfeit that right of coming to press for anything, that everything can go on. Either they rule or they don't. We have put the courts on notice. The plaintiff have written, based on the terms of settlement, it has been properly filed, and I think it was served on them on that Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So the judge coming to make pronouncement or not, the man have voluntarily forfeit his rights because that order is to the benefit of the man who went to court. And the man that went to court said, look, I hereby forgo and forfeit that order so that the NFF can now put their machinery in place to now hold their AGA and conduct the election, which thereafter, he can now properly file notice of discontinuance. But for now, from tomorrow, Monday, if the NFF so decides to call a Congress, there is nothing stopping them from doing that. If anybody is banking on a court order, is looking for a different excuse. But I stand here to tell you that I have a copy which I will send to you, that the man have unequivocally forgo and forfeit that order made on the 10th of December 2021. That Congress and NFF can put their process in place to hold the Congress and go ahead to hold the Congress while other negotiation or discussion will be going on between the members of the Congress, at least the Players Union, the FAs. We all belong to the same family. We are one and same. So they have decided to go and resolve their problem within them. Meanwhile, the NFF board should go ahead and put machinery in place to now hold the AGR, conduct the election. That's just it. The judge don't need to rule. Okay. If there is anything, if it is necessary for him to rule, it has nothing to do with the holding of the Congress.
Okay, I think let us just put a stop on this discussion here. Let's put a hold because we don't have much time. Like I would have, there are other things I would have discussed, but at least basically this is what the main issue is. We shall still get back to you in subsequent editions of this show and follow the developments as we go on. Thank you very much, Shibaribote, for being part of the show.
Ken, just one point.
Okay.
1 point, quick one. Just one quick one.
Go on.
One quick one, Ken.
Go on.
I said one quick one, Ken.
Go on.
You see, sometimes we have been fighting on this side. The fight is not for personal benefit. It's to see how we can advance our football. And when some people don't have a way of bringing you down, what they need to do is to now create a wrong impression in the mind of people about you. Yes, but if we are doing this right, or whatever I'm doing, sometimes forget about the message, forget the message. Whatever we are doing is to advance football. I played football, little I can play home and abroad. I have administered, I have invested. I own a club that played up to the Premiership. Government finds it difficult to sponsor football club. But as an individual, because of the vested interest, because of how passionate I am, I decided to invest my hard-earned money in running a football club up to the Premier League for 2 years, not talking about the lower league. So I don't think the person that has spent his own money in sponsoring football will be the same person to now destroy that same process. But where things are not done right, we are bound to talk. And if doing that makes me a controversial or anything that people choose to target, so be it. But we'll continue to do things that are right so that our football can move on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chief Baribote. Okay, that is Chief Baribote, and the guy said, people said, look, he's controversial. Where is he controversial?
No, Ken, there is nothing, the word controversial is even controversial in itself, because the man has said it, you can't put your money somewhere.
And the
scripture says, where the treasure of the man is, your heart is there. So an owner, investor, and an hired manager, they can never be the same, because one can come and go. You have the right to hire and fire, but this man, he swims and sinks with his investment. So there is nothing being controversial about him. He has his right to fight for, but again, where your right stops, someone else's right starts.
Yes, they said where your right stops, that's the fundamental human right. It is where your own stop that somebody else starts. So you in trying to exercise your own rights, you don't infringe on the rights of others. We would have loved to take calls today, but you say we couldn't do that. You guys are the other arm. It's 50-50. Just like at the NFI, they say they have 5 members. You the fans and we here is 50-50. So anytime we shortchange you and we don't open the lines, I will feel so bad about it, because a lot of you want to air your views. I've been told that we are almost trying to round up. Now I've said let us take 1 or 2 calls to hear your voice as part of the show, so that tomorrow you don't accuse me that I'm doing what they are doing, marginalizing you guys are not hearing what it is. Let us just look at Gareth Bale has gone to MLS. Taiwo Awoniyi is the record signing for Nottingham Forest. Remember the time that Yobo was the record signing for Everton. How is it going to do? You see him doing well?
Yeah, Yobo, that was Amokachi. Amokachi was the second most expensive signing in that window.
But Yobo was a record signing. Yes, I mean,
I think for Taiwo, the 20 goals in all competition for Union Berlin and taking them to the Europa League, that sends a signal to Nottingham Forest, a team just coming back, and you need that someone that guaranteed the goals, and I think they made the right signing.
Yes, and for those of you, like we said, that is Taiwo Awoniyi there. For those of you taking Nottingham Forest, there are some clubs that are big in England. So I want to call the names of the big clubs: Liverpool, Manchester United, Nottingham Forest, Chelsea, Aston Villa. Those are the 5 big clubs in England that has won the Champions League. If your club is not there, don't hold us responsible. So Taiwo Awoniyi is going to a club that has won the league once and won the Champions League, which is the Champions Cup, twice. He has gone to a big club. So there is no marginalization.
It's one of the things that made England have the most winners of the Champions League.
Yes.
Outside England with 5, the next Italy comes with 3. So no other, then Germany comes with 3. So no other country has done 4.
So you can imagine Liverpool, Spain, Manchester United, Nottingham Forest, Chelsea, and Aston Villa. So those are the
people who have played the finals, Man City, Arsenal.
Those are them as like, how do I say, they saw the promised land. They didn't cross it. They didn't cross it. They just saw it. Okay, we are going.
Yeah, Ken, again, we'll talk about it. Don't mind what is happening in the judiciary while we're having petition here and there. The habitat in the game should be protected. And we can't overemphasize that. Anybody touch normal and not here and do my prophet normal. These are the prophets. Anybody that touches them should go in.
Anybody that touches the referee, that he is saying the arbiter, it's like going to the court to go and touch the judge. Who does that? If you say sit down, you sit down or come in. So today at the LMC, you take in your rule, but let us say we said we have to look at this holistically. A lot still need to be done, because all I've been doing is like all motion, no movement. I'm Ken Ochonogo. I dropped the mic. Have a blessed Sunday.